there's a silent debate happening in the minds of millions of men, especially after 40. Is sex healthier than masturbation, or is it the other way around? Some say intimacy with a partner is more natural. Others claim that solo release is safer and just as effective. But when it comes to prostate health, which one actually helps your body? And which one might quietly be doing more harm than good? You might be surprised to learn that even though both involve ejaculation, the way your body responds to sex versus masturbation is not the same. Not emotionally, not hormonally, and not when it comes to protecting your prostate over time. So what's the truth? Let's uncover it. Together, with compassion and science. I'm Dr. Lily Anderson. For over 20 years, I've helped men in their 40s, 50s, 60s, and beyond navigate the often confusing world of sexual health, especially when it comes to the prostate. In my practice, I've seen one thing over and over: good men, smart men, silently carrying questions they feel too embarrassed to ask. Like, is it bad that I masturbate more than I have sex? Am I hurting myself by going solo? Should I stop? Or should I keep going? Today we're going to explore those questions head on. No shame, no scare tactics, just facts, empathy, and science. By the end of this video, you'll understand the real differences between sex and masturbation, and how each affects your prostate health in ways you may have never heard before. Let's start with what both sex and masturbation have in common. They both trigger ejaculation, and that's a good thing for your prostate. Regular ejaculation helps flush out the prostate, clearing old fluids, toxins, and potentially harmful cells. In fact, a major Harvard study found that men who ejaculate 21 times or more per month had a 33% lower risk of developing prostate cancer compared to men who ejaculated 4 to 7 times monthly. So in that sense, both sex and masturbation support prostate health. But that's only part of the story. 1. The hormonal difference. When you have sex with a partner, your body doesn't just release semen. It releases oxytocin, the bonding hormone. This hormone lowers stress, supports heart health, and helps regulate sleep. Sex also tends to release more dopamine, testosterone, and serotonin, creating a cocktail of feel-good and anti-inflammatory effects. Masturbation also produces dopamine and tension relief, but the hormonal impact is often less intense and shorter-lived, especially as you age. 2. The emotional and neurological context. With sex, there's touch, intimacy, and connection, all of which stimulate deeper parts of the nervous system. It's not just physical, it's relational. Masturbation, while normal and healthy, can become emotionally isolating if it turns into a coping mechanism for loneliness or anxiety. Especially after 50, when hormones shift, the brain becomes more sensitive to why you're ejaculating, not just that you are. In short, if sex feels nourishing and connected, it's medicine. If masturbation feels like tension relief but leaves you emotionally flat, it may need a gentle rebalancing. 3. So, what's the healthy habit? For most men over 40, aiming for 2 to 4 ejaculations per week is a great starting point. It doesn't matter whether it's from sex or masturbation. What matters is your emotional state. How your body feels afterward. Whether the act is adding to your well-being or draining it. And don't forget, prostate health isn't just about ejaculation. Support it with other tools like lycopene-rich foods, tomatoes, watermelon, omega-3s from fatty fish, staying hydrated, gentle pelvic exercises like Kegels. These daily choices, combined with mindful release, give your prostate the protection and balance it needs, without guilt, confusion, or extremes. I'd like you to meet Richard, 63 years old, a retired engineer, widowed for 6 years, soft-spoken, thoughtful, and quietly, deeply worried about his health. When Richard first came to see me, he didn't talk about symptoms. He talked about shame. "I don't know if I'm hurting myself," he said. "I don't have a partner anymore, so I use masturbation to release tension. but I've read online it might cause prostate problems. I feel guilty, but also lost. Is it okay? Or am I just messing up my body? Richard's PSA levels were normal. His prostate was slightly enlarged, typical for his age, but not dangerous. What was hurting him most wasn't his body. It was the weight of silence. We talked honestly. I told him, what he's doing isn't wrong. The question isn't, should I or shouldn't I? It's, how do you feel before, during, and after? I guided him to explore slower, more mindful self-pleasure, avoid guilt-fueled late-night habits, reconnect with his senses, not just screens, pair release with relaxation, herbal tea, music, breath work. Within a few weeks, his energy improved. He started sleeping better, the shame lifted. And one day he looked at me and smiled. For the first time in years, I don't feel broken. I feel human again. That's the power of understanding your body and treating it like a friend, not a mistake. Your prostate is like a quiet, hard-working filter. It sits just below your bladder, producing the fluid that carries sperm. And like any filter, it needs to be cleared out regularly to stay healthy. That's where ejaculation comes in. Whether it's through sex or masturbation, ejaculation helps flush out old fluids, reduce inflammation, and may lower the risk of cellular changes that lead to cancer. But here's where it gets interesting. Hormones and inflammation. When you have sex, your body releases a full cascade of hormones. Oxytocin for connection, dopamine for pleasure, serotonin for balance, and a boost in testosterone. These hormones don't just make you feel good. They also lower inflammation, stabilize blood pressure, and support long-term prostate health. Masturbation also releases dopamine and sometimes oxytocin, but the balance depends on your mental state. If you rush through it, especially under stress, it may not give your body the same anti-inflammatory or hormonal benefit. The act is the same, but the context changes everything. Nervous system and circulation. Think of your nervous system like a switchboard. Sex with a partner usually activates both the parasympathetic system, rest and digest, and emotional safety pathways, calming the body. Mindful masturbation can do this too. But mindless, fast, compulsive release often keeps your body in a wired state. That may lead to more tension, not less. Over time, this can affect blood flow, sleep, and even pelvic floor tension, which matters more than people think, especially after age 50. The takeaway. So what's the bottom line? Regular ejaculation helps your prostate. Full stop. Sex tends to give more full-body benefits, hormonally, emotionally, and physically. Masturbation can be just as supportive if it's done with care, intention, and balance. Your body isn't judging you, but it is responding to how you treat it. When you understand the why, you make better choices, not out of guilt, but out of respect. Maybe no one ever taught you how to care for your body this way. Maybe you were told to hide it, or ignore it, or feel ashamed of what's natural. But here's the truth. You're not broken. You're not too old. You haven't missed your chance. Whether you're in your 50s, 60s, or 70s, your prostate is still listening, and your body still knows how to respond. You don't need to overhaul your life. You just need to start with one small, loving shift. Be more mindful the next time you release. Ask yourself, am I doing this to soothe or to escape? Try setting the mood. Soft lighting, quiet music, a slower pace. Treat it like self-care, not a secret. Or simply swap guilt for curiosity. Observe how your body feels the next day. These little shifts tell your nervous system, I'm safe, I'm cared for. I'm not just surviving, I'm reconnecting. And the difference that makes goes far beyond your prostate. If this video made you feel a little more understood, a little more at ease, then maybe you're not alone in this. Maybe there's a man out there, just like you, who's been silently wondering the same things. And maybe, by hitting the like button or leaving a comment, you'll help him find this video too. I'd love to hear from you. What was the one thing that stood out today? Or is there something you've always wanted to ask but never had the space to say out loud? This is that space. And if you're curious about what other silent habits might be helping or hurting your prostate, hit subscribe and we'll keep exploring together. Until next time, stay curious, stay kind to yourself. And remember, your health is not behind you. It's still yours.